Hey everybody, Silver Secret here, coming at you with a brand new video, guys. Yesterday I uploaded a video about finding the 32 silver coins that were gold plated at a yard sale, and thank you for the comments that you left on that, by the way. But I just wanted to bring you a video today, which I said yesterday I would do, just talking to you about the different things that I have with me and ways that I find gold and silver when I go to yard sales, stuff that you can do yourselves to try and make a little bit of money. The primary thing I have, this is the thing I use the most, this is what you'll use the most. This is just a standard 5-power magnifying glass. I also generally have with me a 30-power loupe for like the really small marks that I can't see under this. But this is what I find most things in. This is going to do the trick for most stuff. And basically with this, obviously you're just looking for the marks, so the 10 karat, 14 karat, and I'm going to go over all those marks with you. The other things that I keep with me, but I don't always, have out, I don't pull them out all the time, is obviously a calculator, even though I do have a smartphone, and I'm sure you do as well, so you don't have to bring an actual calculator with you. I bring a scale with me, and I bring a gold test kit with me. Now, I generally leave these in my car, and for the reason that, if you go up and you see a ring like sitting in a box, someone has a box of jewelry and you find one that's marked 10 karat, and then you pull out a scale and you weigh it, and maybe you pull out a test kit and you test it, the person that is running the yard sale is going to be like, oh, that might be worth something, maybe I shouldn't sell that, or maybe I should do more research on it. And usually you just end up losing the sale by going through all that mess. Something else I do take with me, though, is a magnet, but we'll explain that in a bit. But that's the reason I don't pull those out. The glass, on the other hand, it's easy to look through a box of jewelry and see something you think's real, and just kind of look at it under the glass. And then, you take it up to the guy or lady, and you ask them how much, and, they might say, oh, well, I'll want $10 for that ring. Okay, well, I can feel in my hand that there's more than $10 worth of gold here, even if it's only 10 karat. Just looking at it, there's more than $10 worth of gold there, so of course you're just going to end up buying it. You don't really need to weigh that. You can weigh it later. But that's one of the primary things that you want to keep look out for is the markings, and then you can kind of judge the weight on your own, as long as it's reasonable. Now, if you walk up to someone and they say, okay, I want $50 for this ring, then you'd be like, well, I tell you what, I might be able to do that, but I have a scale, can I weigh it? And then if they say yes or no, then you go from there. But obviously if they don't want you to weigh it, then you're probably not going to pay $50 for this ring blindly, because you don't know if there's $50 worth of gold there, and you don't want to risk throwing away money. But for $10, and we see that this is 10 karat gold, deal. Now you're going to run into some people that run the yard sales that know more about gold and silver, so they may ask more questions. When it comes down to that, that's when you can pull out the test kit, get your calculator out, pull out your scale, and start weighing stuff. But what we're going to do today, besides explaining that, is we're going to go over the different marks and stuff that you need to look for when you're out at a yard sale. And this, in my opinion, will help you know what you're looking for and keep you from making mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. Everyone does. I've bought fake stuff before. The first thing you want to take with you is a really powerful magnet. Now, you can buy neodyme magnets on like Amazon pretty cheap. This is what's called a jeweler's magnet. It's basically a super strong magnet. Like, I can throw this, most magnets, they bounce off of stuff if you throw them at it. I could throw this at something steel, and this thing will stick to it like glue. It won't there's not enough force to bounce back off of it. I mean, this thing's super strong. Just to show you with this, see, it literally lifted it up off the mat here, like the whole knife. And I have to put a lot of pressure to it. But one thing you want to do, obviously, when you're going is, if you see something that's 10 karat, well, let's start by magnet testing it. So you can see I put this magnet to this gold ring, it's not magnetic. I put it to this gold earring, it's not magnetic. I put it to this silver, it's not magnetic. Now, one thing it is going to always pick up, guys, is the clasp. Okay, so see how that's picking up? Well, I guess, here, let me move so you can see. But I'm going to show you, it will always pick up the clasp, and the reason is there's a spring inside the clasp. Alright, here we go. There, now you can see. There's a spring inside the clasp that's obviously not going to be made of silver. And the magnet's always going to stick to that. So, if you get a magnet to stick to the clasp, You know, don't let it deter you, because it's always going to stick to the clasp. But you can see the rest of the chain is not magnetic. Now I have this here. So this is a gold chain. Now this is just a piece of one that I had taken apart after I bought it and found out it was fake. So this is where I actually lost. But you can see this. Doesn't stick to a magnet very much, but even just a little bit... Man, my camera angle is bad for this. Here, let's do this. Any little bit of sticking to the magnet is enough to just turn it away. So at the time that I bought this was a while back, I didn't have a really strong magnet, and so the magnet didn't really stick to it much at all, and I bought it. I mean, the guy only wanted 10 bucks for it, so I didn't lose a whole lot of money, but I could have made a lot more. Actually, I keep the rest of that thing around. I kind of pick at it when I'm sitting at my desk, and I've torn it apart into multiple pieces, but it's definitely not real. And we'll use a piece of that. Look, I can even pick up these little things here. Get them right back into the jar. I'll show you testing that, how that works out. Another thing that you're going to find, guys, this is sterling silverware. So when you're looking on the back of sterling silver, it is always going to say sterling. I don't know if we can focus in on that or not. Depends on if the camera wants to play with us today. It doesn't look like it does. But right here it says sterling. If it doesn't say sterling on the back of like a spoon or a knife or something, generally it's not going to be silver. Every time I've ever seen sterling silverware, it's always been marked sterling. So if it's not, you don't want to buy it. Usually you're going to see like W.M. Rogers. That's almost always plated. But if it doesn't say sterling, just don't buy it. Now there are some instances or some stuff where they have like different like hallmarks on them and stuff that signify that it is silver. If you want to take the time to learn those, please do. I never have. I probably should. But generally, if it doesn't say sterling, I just kind of move on. And then you have like candlesticks that you can find. I found this at a yard sale. I actually found 2 of these, and they're exact same pattern. Now with these, you have to be really careful because it feels really heavy. But you can see on the bottom. Let's see if it can focus in on this. All right, so see how it says sterling, and then it says reinforced. Well, just come on, zoom in, or focus. There you go. See how it says sterling and then reinforced? It sometimes will also say weighted, which is the same thing. And what that simply means, guys, is I'm going to show you here on camera. If we can grab this, peel this back. I'm just going to make a mess. But you can see that this is actually filled with a cement that weighs it down. They don't want to make this out of solid sterling because, one, it would be much heavier than it actually is because this stuff's pretty light compared to sterling silver, and 2, it's just obviously much cheaper, so it doesn't cost as much to make. And now I have a mess on my desk, but that's okay. Dump that into my trash can. Now it's going to be filled up in here too, and you can see there's actually a metal rod down here. So that metal rod is also not going to be silver, so you need to twist, get this rod out, peel the top off, get the weights out of there, and then what you're pretty much left with, sorry for my mess, or kind of, pieces like that. This is from the first one I did. This thing right here is that down there. So, and this here is like an ounce of silver, even though it weighed so much more when it was complete. So something to keep an eye out for. And now, the reason I have this butter knife out is you guys saw that this stuck to the magnet, but with knives, you can have actually silver knives. If you look at this, this is actually the same pattern. So see the 2 flowers at the top. And it actually says sterling on the side. What they actually do with these is the blade is stainless steel because it's made for cutting stuff, and silver's not really good for that. And then they actually weight inside of here, so there's a weight in here with a rod that goes up into it that holds the steel blade in place. So basically all you have on this is the little bit of silver that's wrapped around. I generally figure about every 3 of these is an ounce of silver. That's how I buy them when I'm looking at them. So if I see 3 of them, I'd be like, all right, well, that's probably an ounce when I'm doing the math in my head. So let's see, let's get the scope without moving it. Here you go. Now you can see right there it says sterling. It's upside down, but there you go. And the little coin scope there. So when it comes to testing, so after you've done with that and you're worried about the weights, when it comes, well, let's go with this. When you're checking the the numbers, I'm going to show you, I put a little chart together of marks that you're going to look for, and we'll talk about them. So let me pull those up. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see they have different gold markings. So you have 8 karat, it's either going to be marked 8 karat or 333. You have 9 karat, it's either going to be marked 9 karat or 375. Those actually can't be sold in the U.S. as gold. So those are generally from overseas, like England or whatever. You can't call something a gold ring, for example, until it's at least 10 karat gold, which is over 40%. 10 carat's actually 41.7%. So in the 10 karat ring, you're going to see the mark 10 karat or 0.417 or just 417. And 14 karat, you see 14 karat or 585. And then 18 karat, you'll see 18 karat or 750. And then in silver, you're going to see either the word sterling, or in jewelry, it's usually just the number 925, which is the purity of sterling silver, which is 92.5%. You also will sometimes run across platinum. Platinum is generally marked as platinum, so it will actually say platinum inside the ring, or it will be marked 950, which is the purity of platinum rings. Now, something you need to keep an eye out, be careful with is, and actually this chain that I talked about earlier was how, it was actually marked 18 karat HGE, so that actually stands for heavy gold electroplate. It could also be marked 18 karat GE, which just stands for gold electroplate. It can also have the mark 1/20 or 1/10 or 1/15 18 karat. That is actually gold filled. It's not actually filled, but that's what they call it. It's just the 1/10 or 1/15 or 1/20. That is the thickness of the plating that's on the piece. You can also have ones that specifically say the word gold filled. Those are also not solid gold, so you don't want to buy those as well. Something to keep an eye out for those. So again, 1/20, 1/10, 1/15, or 1/anything really is generally rolled gold or gold plate or gold filled. So keep an eye out for those. Don't buy those. And then don't buy anything that says gold filled. Don't buy anything that says HGE, which stands for heavy gold electroplate, or GE, which stands for gold electroplate. Stay away from all that stuff. So we'll turn this off. Now, next up, guys, I have a gold testing kit, and we're going to do a little bit of testing here so you can see how different stuff works. Now I'm going to pull up, I'll actually show you, so let me show you this real fast. This is on Amazon right here. This is a precious metals testing kit for silver, platinum, 10, 14, 18, 22 karat gold test, and then you get a jeweler stone with it as well. You can see they're pretty cheap. It's $8 plus $6 to ship it. So for $14 you get the test that can test the different carats. Okay. So alright, so the stone actually is in focus as it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this. Now this ring is marked inside. It's going to be hard to show you, but inside this ring is marked 10 karat. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the stone. We're going to scratch just a little bit of the edge onto the stone. Alright, now I'm going to take my 10 karat acid. Take my 10 karat acid. We're going to put a little bit of 10 karat acid on it and just make sure that it doesn't disappear. If it's fake, it's going to disappear. If it's real, it's going to stay there and not disappear. Or if it's a lower carat, it will also eat it away. Just to prove that to you, we'll take, so you see it's staying fine under 10 karat. It's like putting a drop of water on top of it. But if we put 14 karat on top of it, there we go. Now you'll see what happens. It's going to start, so it just merged with the 10 karat droplet, but you can see even with it being diluted by the 10 karat drop, you can also already see it being eaten away. So that's that right there means it's not 14 karat, it's 10, because it passed the 10 but not the 14. So next up we have, I probably should have got a napkin over here, but next up we have this 14 karat earpiece. So same thing, we're going to just scratch a little bit. Okay, and we will put a little bit of 14 karat acid on it. And you can see, just like putting a drop of water on it, it just stays nice and golden. If we get that over to 18 karat acid, and it's not big enough, so we're just going to drop it right on top. Watch. The 18 karat acid, you can see the gold eating right away. Now, the 18 karat acid also doubles as silver testing. Now you can, obviously that comes with the silver metal testing solution that you saw in the Amazon picture. You can get on Amazon, but the 18 karat acid actually also works as silver testing, so I'm going to show you how that works. This is a sterling silver spoon, so we'll scratch a little bit of the silver there, and what's going to happen is if it's silver, let's see here. The silver is going to disappear instantly and turn into like a powder blue color. Turn off some of the light. So you see that powder blue color, that right there shows you that it's sterling silver. So there you go, we have it. So sterling passed, 14 karat and 18 karat passed. Or I'm sorry, and 10 karat passed. Now, we have this. This was marked 18 karat HGE, but again, I didn't see it, and I put a magnet to it, and you know, my crappy magnet at the time didn't stick very well. So I definitely suggest you getting a very strong magnet. But we'll go ahead and test that. Let's turn the light back on. We're going to drop 18 karat acid on it and watch this. Well, the bubble's not helping us, is it? So there you go, guys. It was instantly eaten away. You can see there's nothing left. So there you go. That's how you use the gold testing kit. Now that's generally something you're going to do after you buy it. But again, as I explained earlier, in certain instances, you can do it before it's bought. If it's someone that just has a lot of questions or aren't sure, or they just want too much for it. Again, if this ring right here, someone says, hey, I want 50 bucks for it. Well, you're not going to give them 50 bucks without weighing it, because that's too much, you know that. Or it may be too much. So we're going to put it on the scale. And we're going to see what it's actually worth. So here's where we get to the math part. Now I use something called DWT, which stands for Pennyweights. You guys can use grams. Just remember that pennyweights and grams are much different. A pennyweight is 1/20th of 1 troy ounce, exactly, whereas there's 31.11 grams per ounce. So with grams, you just have to do the math differently. But we're going to use pennyweights today. So we'll drop this on there. Now keep in mind there's a stone. The stone actually does have weight. So you can see this thing right here weighs 3.5 pennyweights. Let's say the stone probably weighs half a pennyweight, so you have 3 pennyweights of 10 karat gold. So at 1220 times 0.417, that gives you the purity of the 10 karat gold. So you have $508 per ounce. Divide that by 20, and it's $25 per pennyweight, times 3, $76. So this ring right here melts for about 76 bucks. Now you're probably going to get about 95% of that if you take it to a gold scrap, like a coin shop to scrap it. So you're going to get about 72 bucks if you melt it. Maybe less. It depends on your shop. Ooh, we don't want to do 0.6. There's no shops that can pay that little unless they're trying to rip you off, times 0.8. Oh goodness. So let's say it was 75 bucks times 0.8. So you might get 60 bucks. So right there, even if you get 60 bucks, $50 is obviously a fair offer for that ring. So, you know, it's up to you. If you want to pay that much for it, you can maybe offer them 40. But you now know what it's worth, so you're not just jumping into a fire without knowing. Same with this. So we'll put this on the scale. See, it only weighs 0.2 pennyweights. So 1220 times 0.585 divided by 20, and then times 0.2. So there's $7 worth of gold in this. So obviously we're not going to pay $50 for this 14 karat gold earring. There's only $7 worth of gold in it. This, I'd be like, I'll give you $3. But one last thing I guess I should show you, as far as using math is concerned, is earlier we pulled up this markings chart and showed you the different markings and what they mean. Let me show you how to get the math for this. So you see how 8 karat is 0.333, 9 karat is 0.375, 10 karat is 0.417. Simple way to figure out what each carat's percentage is, just take 1, divide it by 24, because 24 is pure gold. Okay? And you can see we have 0.0416 per carat. So if we times it by, let's just use it as an example, let's multiply it times 8. So 8 karat would be 0.333, okay? Or we clear this out, we take 1 divided by 24, and then times it by, let's say 10. So for 10 karat, 0.4166, so round up 0.417. There you go, 10 karat. Let's do it one more time. 1 divided by 24 times 14 karat, 0.583, so rounded up a little bit, but 0.585 is what you're looking for the markings of 14 karat. So that right there is some quick math. So let's say we want to figure out what the purity, let's say you run into something that's 22 karat, very unlikely, but hey. So 1 divided by 24 times 22, we know that 22 karat is 91.66% pure. So it would be marked 0.917, if you will. So anyway, guys, that gives you that information as well to use at your leisure. Other than that, I mean, the best thing I can tell you to do is go out and hunt and learn as you go. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If I missed something, leave them in the comments. If I don't know if I forgot to mention anything, if I'm rambling on a little bit too much, or if I'm just a little bit out of order with the information. But again, you know, if you see anything, or if you missed anything at all, just again let me know in the comments and I will talk to you about it. So, and who knows, hopefully you do well. Let me know if you find anything while you're out there hunting, guys. I really appreciate you checking out the channel. Again, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for me so you can see our updates, and we will see you in the very next video.